Here you can see I have all the electrical taped to the ceiling for the lights, and there are the holes for the lights. Yesterday I put in this panel with the lights, and now I'm going to do this section here, and I have it all measured out. I have the hole cut for the Maxx Air Fan, and I just wanted to video this little section, this little part. Just being mindful of where your wiring is. I try to run all my wiring before I put the ceiling in. So I believe I have all my wiring done. Over here, here's the piece that I'm going to put in, and I cut out so the beauty ring for the Maxx Air Fan just drops in there. Got plenty of play. So I'll set this up, and also going to show you, you see how I screw right into the metal, this support bracket, and I just use these little drywall screws. It's a fine thread drywall screw, and they seem to tap into the metal pretty easily, and they do a good job holding. So that's what I use. I'm gonna go and get this panel. Okay, I have these zip wall holders readily available, so that will hold that. This will hold that. Hope you can see that. Whoops. There we go. Make sure all my seams are lined up. Looks pretty good. Remember where I have my electrical. It's right there. Avoid that section where the wire is all together, and put some screws in here, and then I'll put some insulation in. We're trying to do this without the zip walls holders. Trying to hold this thing up by yourself with one hand and screw with another hand. Fuck that. Okay. That fits good. And let's see. So your insulation doesn't have to be smushed in there. You just want to basically take up the airspace. So, matter of fact, if you put too much insulation in it, it doesn't really, it's not as effective. So, I'm gonna sneak this through here. Get a stick or something and push it up in here. Go from here. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna just shove this in from here with a stick and then button it up. Okay, so I got this headliner in, and all the insulation you can see kind of sticking out there. And now I'm gonna put this this beauty ring in. It's called a beauty ring for the Maxx Air Fan. And I'm gonna set this here so you guys can see closely. Okay, so when you put this in, when it comes from the factory, they give you a lot of depth there. And so, as you can see, this doesn't go flush with the ceiling. It's supposed to go flush with the ceiling. So how do we measure that and cut it so it's right? Very simple. Just put it in like it is, as far up as you can go. And I'm just gonna make a little mark here with my pencil. Okay. Now I'll take that down and I'll measure this distance. So this is 2 3/4 roughly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure from here down 2 3/4, which is, whoop, you can see it. And I'm gonna make a mark there all the way around and cut it. And I might actually make it a little bit less, like 2 5/8. So I'll show you how that works out. So you just use a square like this, and you can draw your line around it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to make sure it's close. So, and then I'm going to use a circle saw to cut it. Here we go, let's see how it fits. nice and flush. Put some screws in there. I found my screw gun. There it is. And the screws. Go. Done. Like I said, these seams will get a trim strip over it, and then I'll angle down to cover up the wiring. I'm going to tap into the wiring here. This is a constant 12 volt. It's a really heavy duty wire, so I'm going to tap into that for my fan. The fan has a fuse in it, and I may tap into it for a few other things as well. So just utilizing what's in the van instead of running a bunch of wiring for these little things. I'll probably use this also for my LED lights that I'll run, you know, like limo lights, give it a nice indirect lighting feel. So they're super low power. This thing is only used when, you know, for the rear air conditioning, which is rarely ever used. Definitely not used while you're sitting still. So, all right, my ceiling is pretty much done. Just in case you're wondering what I'm using for insulation, it's rock wool. It's higher soundproof and fireproofing than regular insulation, and it doesn't stink when it gets wet. So it's pretty easy to just pull apart. You can you know, make it thinner if you need to get into smaller spaces. So there you have it. Okay, so I got this finished. Got them on a dimmer. It brightens it up quite a bit in here. And right near the door, you can see I'm gonna put a I'll put a trim strip over all the screw holes. But I've got insulation in there, and I got most of the ceiling done there.